You know that feeling when you look at the world's biggest problems and just feel completely overwhelmed? I mean, you see so many people and amazing organizations out there trying to do good work, but it all feels so disconnected. Well, what if there's a better way? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful framework that's designed to take all that scattered energy and turn it into real systemic change. It's a super frustrating question, right? Whether you're talking about climate action or social justice, there is no shortage of passion out there. But so often, all these efforts feel like they're in their own little silos, and they just can't seem to get the critical mass they need to actually shift the system. So, what is going on? The author Paul Hawken actually gave this feeling a name. He called it the blessed unrest. And it's this incredible worldwide movement of people working for a better future. But it's an unrest. It's huge, but it's also totally uncoordinated. It's like a whole sea of good intentions that hasn't quite figured out how to become a tidal wave. But what if there was a way to harness all of that incredible energy? Well, a new academic framework from a researcher named Sandra Waddick points to a missing role in this whole ecosystem of change. And it's not a leader, not in the way we usually think about it. It's something else entirely. It's the transformation catalyst. So, what is a transformation catalyst? Think of them as the weaver. They don't command people or control things. Instead, they steward the entire process. Their whole job is to find all those separate threads of good work and just start weaving them together into this strong, coherent fabric of change. It's a role that's all about enabling and empowering everyone else. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this is so different from our typical idea of leadership. A traditional leader, right, they set a goal and they direct people on how to get there. But a transformation catalyst, they don't plan the outcome. They steward the process. They facilitate and co-create with everybody else. It's a huge shift from top-down authority to, collective empowerment. Okay, so how does a catalyst actually do this weaving? It's not just magic. The framework lays out a really clear 3-step process. It's basically a practical roadmap for turning that blessed unrest into a focused, powerful movement. So the process unfolds in 3 stages: connecting, cohering, and amplifying. First, you got to see the whole playing field. Then you bring all the players together so they can agree on where they're going. And finally, you unleash that combined energy and help it spread. Let's break each of those down. Step 1, connecting. This is all about reconnaissance. It's about mapping out the entire system to answer some key questions. Who's already working on this? What are they doing? Where are the gaps? Where's the overlap? And this isn't just about making a big list. It's about sense-making, working together to build a shared understanding of the whole puzzle. A perfect real-world example of this is the Well-Being Economy Alliance, or WAL. I mean, they didn't invent the idea of an economy focused on well-being. What they did was connect the hundreds of organizations, the thousands of people, and even national governments that were already thinking this way, and they made them all visible to each other. So, step 2 builds right on top of that connection. Once all the players can see each other, the catalyst can start the work of cohering. This is the part where the catalyst facilitates a process to co-create a shared vision. And it's not about the catalyst pushing their vision, it's helping the group articulate a future that they all want to build together. And from that shared vision, a collective action plan can start to take shape. And this right here, this is the power of we all's co-created vision. It's simple, it's profound, and it's something that all 400 of its partner organizations can look at and see their own work reflected in it. This one statement becomes the North Star, aligning the actions of thousands of people without needing some top-down command structure. So the final step is amplifying. You've got a connected network and a coherent vision. Now the work really begins. The aligned actions get implemented, and the system starts to build momentum. But what's really crucial here is that this stage is also about learning. The catalyst helps the whole network see what's working, adapt, and evolve. And that creates a ripple effect that just spreads the change outward. I just love this metaphor from the source paper. Amplification isn't like building a skyscraper from a single blueprint. No, it's more like scattering seeds. Change just starts to sprout up in different ways in different places, totally adapted to the local context, but it's all growing from that same shared vision. So what's the ultimate result of this whole catalytic process? It's something way more powerful than just a really well-organized project. It's about fundamentally weaving a whole new reality. The outcome is what's called a transformation system.
As you can kind of see from this image, it's not just a network. It's a living, breathing ecosystem of different actors and initiatives that are now all aligned by collective vision and shared values. They're literally woven together, and they become a really coherent and powerful force.
And this leads to maybe the most profound outcome of all. The whole process can create what researchers call a new social imaginary. Now, that sounds complex, but it's pretty simple. It's a new shared story about what's possible. I mean, think about it. Shifting the story from the economy must grow at all costs to the economy must improve our well-being. That fundamentally changes everything. It changes our beliefs, our mindsets, and that is the deepest level of transformation there is. So from weaving networks all the way to changing mindsets, let's kind of bring this all together. Why is understanding this framework so important for anyone who actually wants to create large-scale change? Well, because it provides a roadmap. This lays out the entire journey we've been talking about. Over on the left, you see the starting point, all those under-organized, independent efforts. And as we move through that catalytic process in the middle, we arrive on the right at a truly transformed system. It proves there is a path from the chaos of that blessed unrest to coherent, amplified action. So let's boil it all down to 3 key takeaways. First, individual action is vital, but it's not enough. Real systemic change requires connection. Second, that this unique role of a catalyst, the weaver, the steward, is absolutely crucial. And finally, by taking this approach, we can actually turn that feeling of a blessed unrest into the focused, collective power we need to build a better world. And that leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. I mean, look around at your own community, your industry, or a cause that you really care about. See all the scattered efforts and that shared passion. What underorganized system around you is just waiting for someone to start weaving?